Welcome back my channel. Today's deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. numismatics, the 1977 D. Liberty Washington Quarter Dollar. This coin represents a significant piece of American history, and it's one that continues to captivate collectors around the world. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector, a history buff, or just starting your journey into numismatics, this coin has a lot to offer. In this video, we'll explore the origins, features, value, and why the 1977 D. Washington Quarter Dollar is such an interesting piece to add to any collection. Let's begin with the basics. What is the 1977 D. Washington Quarter Dollar? It's part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932. This particular coin, the 1977 D variety, was minted at the Denver Mint, and the D on the coin denotes its mint mark. But what makes this coin stand out from the others in the Washington Quarter series? To answer that, we need to take a closer look at its history and design. History of the Washington Quarter series. The Washington Quarter Dollar has a rich and intriguing history, beginning in 1932, when it was first introduced to celebrate George Washington's 200th birthday. Initially designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The reverse of the coin, over the years, has seen several design changes, but the 1977 version kept a traditional eagle design with an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. This design symbolizes peace and strength, traits that America prides itself on. Since its inception, the Washington Quarter has been through various modifications. The first major change came in 1965, when the United States moved from using silver in quarters to a copper-nickel composition to save on costs during the silver crisis. The 1977 D. Washington Quarter Dollar was made with a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning it's not composed of precious metals but still holds substantial numismatic value due to its age and history. The design of the coin, as mentioned earlier, features George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. However, what makes this coin particularly interesting is the era it represents. The late 1970s in the U.S. was a period of economic turbulence, inflation, and a shift in the political landscape. The 1977 D coin, then, isn't just a piece of currency but a snapshot of the times. In 1977, Jimmy Carter was president, and the country was grappling with a stagnant economy and rising inflation. This coin represents more than just a denomination. It captures a moment in history when the U.S. was at a crossroads. The 1977 D Quarters Design and Symbolism. D Quarters Design and Symbolism. Let's take a more detailed look at the design of the 1977 D Washington Quarter Dollar. The obverse side of the coin, which features George Washington's profile, was designed by John Flanagan and remains largely unchanged since its debut in 1932. Washington is depicted in a manner that exudes dignity and strength, capturing his importance in American history. The reverse of the coin features a bald eagle, perched on an olive branch and a cluster of arrows, symbolizing both peace and strength. This image has been a part of American numismatic history since the coin's first issue. The eagle itself is a national symbol, representing courage, freedom, and the U.S.'s commitment to maintaining peace, while also projecting military power. What makes the 1977 D special is the pristine clarity of the design. In the 1970s, coin minting was precise, and the coins themselves were made with a higher level of craftsmanship compared to later years. The 1977 D is an excellent example of a coin that still carries the sharpness and definition of its original design. Why collectors are interested in the 1977 D Washington Quarter. For many coin collectors, the 1977 D Washington Quarter is seen as a piece of history. But what gives this coin real appeal in the numismatic market? First, the 1977 D Quarter, as part of the larger Washington Quarter series, represents a highly collectible series. Washington Quarters are often sought after for their historical significance and enduring appeal. The 1977 D, in particular, carries a certain nostalgia for collectors interested in U.S. coins from the late 20th century. Another reason collectors are drawn to this coin is its availability. Unlike some other coins, the 1977 D was minted in relatively large numbers, making it more accessible for collectors. While it may not carry the same value as rarer coins like the 1932 D Washington quarter, the 1977 D still holds a significant place in the coin collecting world due to its historical context, mass production, and solid design. For collectors who focus on specific mint marks, the D mint mark on this quarter makes it particularly valuable. The Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's most prominent facilities, produced a significant portion of the nation's coins, and many collectors enjoy seeking out pieces from this mint for their collections. 1977 D Washington quarter dollar value. Now, let's get into the question many of you are likely asking. What is the value of the 1977 D Washington quarter dollar? In terms of face value, the coin is worth 25 cents. But that's just the beginning of the story. The true value of the coin depends on its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Most 1977 D Washington quarter dollars are not particularly rare, as millions of these coins were minted. However, the coin's value can fluctuate based on the collector market. For an average 1977 D quarter in circulated condition, you're looking at a value that's generally close to its face value or slightly above, perhaps around 50 cents to $1. Coins in better condition, such as those that are uncirculated, can fetch higher prices. An uncirculated coin in pristine condition might be valued between $2 to $3, and if you find one with a particularly high grade, the value could rise significantly. The price could also be influenced by the coin's rarity in certain minting variations, such as double dies or errors that occurred during the minting process. Coins that feature unique minting defects, like die cracks or off-center strikes, could also increase in value. As such, if you come across a 1977 D with an error, you could see a significant increase in value, especially if the error is recognized by numismatic grading services. Grading and how it affects value. One of the most important factors in determining the value of the 1977 D Washington quarter is its grade. Coins are graded based on their condition, which ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin typically becomes. Good, G, for in this condition, the coin shows significant wear, but the main features are still visible. It might fetch close to face value. Fine F, 12, the coin shows moderate wear, and the design features are still clear. Its value may range from $1 to $2. Extremely fine XF, 40, the coin has minimal wear, and the design is still sharp. The value could range from $2 to $5. Uncirculated, MS 60 to MS 70. An uncirculated 1977 D Washington quarter dollar, particularly one in excellent condition, can be valued higher, reaching up to $10 or more, depending on its grade. Coins graded by certified agencies like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, will have their value assessed by professionals, and these graded coins tend to fetch higher prices on the market. Where to buy and sell the 1977 D Washington quarter dollar? So, where can you find or sell a 1977 D Washington quarter dollar? For collectors, there are several avenues to acquire or sell coins, including local coin shops, online marketplaces, and coin shows. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections are well known for offering a variety of coins, including Washington quarters. When buying or selling a coin, always ensure you're dealing with reputable sellers and buyers. If you're new to collecting or selling coins, it's important to be cautious and informed about market prices to ensure you're getting a fair deal. The significance of the 1977 D in the broader coin collecting community. While the 1977 D Washington quarter dollar may not be one of the most sought-after coins in the U.S. minting history, it still carries a significant value as part of the Washington quarter series. Coins like the 1977 D help tell the story of America's coinage, representing the economic and political context of the late 20th century. In conclusion, the 1977 D Washington quarter dollar. You might think a 5-cent coin is worth, well, 5 cents. But imagine this, a 1974 D Jefferson nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, graded MS67 full steps. Once sold for $1,495 at auction. That's nearly 300 times its face value for a single nickel, simply because it was nearly perfect with razor sharp detail and collector desirability that few examples ever achieve. It's a record that surprises even seasoned coin collectors. Today we're going to tell you everything about that coin, why it sold for such a high price, the fascinating history behind the 1974 Jefferson nickel, what most of these coins are really worth, and what prices people are paying for them right now on. The Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running 5-cent coins ever produced in the United States. First introduced in 1938, it was designed by German-born sculptor Felix Schlag and replaced the Buffalo nickel that had been struck. From 1913 to 1938, the design shows a profile portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side. Jefferson was the third president of the United States, principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and a symbol of American freedom, liberty, and democratic values. That's why the nickel prominently includes the word liberty on the obverse along with In God We Trust. On the reverse side is a depiction of Jefferson's home Monticello, the classical mansion he designed and lived in. Monticello, located in Virginia, is an architectural icon and a symbol of Jefferson's talents as an architect and thinker. The D in 1974 tells us where the coin was minted. The Denver Mint. In 1974, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in massive numbers, and over 277 million. 1974 nickels were struck for circulation. That's why this coin is generally common and easy to find. It was made to be used, not collected. Why would anyone pay big money for this coin? If so many were made, and if most were spent and lost in circulation, why did that one nice 1974 nickel fetch nearly $1,500 at auction? There are several reasons. 1. Condition is everything for coin collectors. A coin graded MS67FS mint state 67 with full steps means it's essentially flawless. Mint state means it has never been circulated, and the number 67 is near the top of the grading scale. Coins like this still have their original luster and strong details. Full steps refers to how sharp the steps on Monticello are. The more complete they are without breaks or wear, the more prized the coin. Millions of 1974 nickels exist in low grades, but only a tiny fraction survive in higher mint state grades and very few with perfect full steps. That rarity drives the collector demand and value. Coins sold at major auctions often bring higher prices than private sales. Collectors at heritage auctions or major numismatic events will bid competitively, which can push prices far above the typical retail value. Experts note that normal auction results for 1974 nickels in high mint grades range from as low as $6 to around $215 depending on condition. But one exceptional example went much higher, making that nearly $1,500 price a true outlier, but a real recorded result. Nickels are deceptively simple coins. 5 cents doesn't sound like much today, but in earlier U.S. history, it was a meaningful amount of money, enough for groceries or a meal. The Jefferson nickel has been struck in millions of circulation strikes every year for decades, but only some find their way into collections. Prior to 1938, the United States circulated the Buffalo nickel for 25 years. When collectors and the public criticized its weak relief and difficulty in recognizing details, the Mint commissioned a new design. Felix Schlag's Jefferson design won a competition and became the new standard. Over the years, the nickel composition has changed, notably during World War II, when nickel metal was needed for the war effort. From 1942 to 1945, the Mint substituted silver alloy in nickels. But by 1974, the coins were back to the normal 75% copper, 25% nickel alloy composition. Now let's break down what any 1974 Jefferson nickel is worth based on condition. Circulated coins, those that have been used in everyday commerce, are usually worth about 5 cents to 20 cents. Most people will not pay more than a few cents for these, even if the coin is older. Uncirculated coins, no wear but not graded, often sell for a couple of dollars, depending on eye appeal and detail. Graded coins, MS63, MS65, certified by PCGS or NGC, often sell in the $5 to $30 range. Very high-grade certified coins, MS66 and up, can reach $50 to $200 or more at auction. The auction record for the finest known coin, MS67FS, is $1,495, showing the rare peak value when everything aligns perfectly. According to comprehensive coin value guides, a 1974D Jefferson nickel in the most common mint state grades typically ranges from about 5 cents to $35 if not an exceptionally rare full steps variety. Gray sheet. Part 5. Real eBay prices right now. What collectors are actually paying for these coins? Let's look at how these coins are really selling on eBay right now. A 1974D circulated Jefferson nickel recently sold for around $1.50, showing that most everyday coins trade near face value. Certified examples with higher grades, like MS64, are listed around $15 to $30. A 1974D graded MS66 NGC piece ended recently at around $54.99, showing good demand for top-tier graded coins. Some uncirculated examples with nice eye appeal or strong luster may sell $4.10, $20, or slightly more depending on condition. Every collector's market is different, and rare varieties like error coins or no mint mark 1974 nickels can fetch higher prices. But for the Denver strike, most values revert to modest levels. It's worth about a few cents to maybe a few dollars if it's uncirculated. High certified grades can be worth more, and truly exceptional specimens can reach hundreds or, in rare cases, over $1,000 if they match the top known auction records. Most coins will not sell for huge amounts. The auction record is an exception, not the rule, but even common coins have a story. And every collector loves uncovering what makes a coin valuable beyond its face. Whether you just enjoy coins as history or you're searching for a hidden gem, the 1974D Jefferson nickel proves that even 5 cents can carry hundreds of years of American liberty and occasionally surprising value. I hope you're all doing well and are ready for another deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins. Today, we're going to explore one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Liberty Wheat Penny from 1949D. And believe me, this coin is not just another penny. This little piece of history packs a wealth of stories and facts that could take us down many rabbit holes about the American economy, its history, and even the people behind the design of this coin. It's truly one of the most interesting and historic pennies ever minted, and today we're going to break it all down from its history to its significance in the coin world and even its modern-day value. The Liberty Wheat Penny 1949D is a coin that holds a lot of meaning to collectors and history buffs alike. It was part of the series of pennies minted between 1909 and 1958, which are often referred to as the Wheat Cent series, and if you look closely you'll see the famous wheat stalks on the reverse side of the coin. Those stalks represent the prosperity and abundance that America hoped for in the 20th century, especially during the turbulent times of the Great Depression and World War II. The 1949 D penny specifically holds its own unique place in the coin world because of the historical context in which it was minted in 1949. The world was recovering from the devastation of World War II, and the United States was beginning its ascent to becoming a global superpower. And while that period of history was marked by significant change, the 1949 D penny was still produced using the same design that had been in place since 1909. The obverse of the coin features the iconic Liberty portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, and this image has been on the penny since the coin was first introduced in 1909. It shows a youthful Abraham Lincoln facing to the right, and underneath his profile, the word Liberty is inscribed above the date and the motto, "In God We Trust." Now, the reverse side of the coin features a pair of stalks of wheat on either side of a simple inscription that reads, E pluribus unum, which translates to, out of many. 1 inch. This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the memorial sent to honor Abraham Lincoln's memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wheat Cent is a series that holds a special place in numismatic history as it marks an era of change in the United States from World War I to the onset of the Cold War. In 1949, the United States Mint struck over 1 billion pennies with the D Mint mark, which indicates that these pennies were minted at the Denver Mint. This makes the 1949 D penny a common coin in terms of mintage, but that doesn't take away from its significance in the history of U.S. coinage. The 1949 D penny is considered a circulated coin, which means it was part of the currency flow during a time when pennies were being used regularly for everyday transactions, $5 to $15 with some MS-65 or higher pieces, reaching as high as $20 to $50 or more depending. And if you happen to find a 1949 D penny with an error, such as a doubled die or other striking anomalies, the value can skyrocket. Some doubled die 1949 D pennies have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars, especially when the error is clearly visible and well documented by numismatic experts. So, while the 1949 D penny might seem like just another coin to many, it's actually full of surprises for those who know what to look for. Looking at the real-time eBay prices today, we see that many 1949 D wheat pennies are selling for $1 to $3, depending on condition, with ungraded circulated coins fetching lower prices, and coins that are well-preserved or in high-grade condition can often go for between $5 to $15, with some MS-65 or higher pieces reaching as high as $20 to $50 or more, depending on their specific characteristics and demand. Additionally, error coins, or those with significant varieties, listed on eBay often command higher prices, ranging from $100 to several $100s, depending on the rarity of the error or variety found. The 1949 D wheat penny is a perfect example of how a simple coin can carry tremendous historical significance and value. Its story connects us to a pivotal time in American history, the post-World War II era, and the development of modern U.S. coinage. While its current value is tied to its condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics like errors or varieties, it's clear that this coin holds a special place among collectors who continue to treasure it for its historical and numismatic importance. So, if you come across a 1949 D penny, remember that it's more than just a piece of currency. It's a small piece of American history waiting to be discovered and appreciated in your collection, or even as a potential investment.